Yes, people, so I gave you the narrative concerning ancient Kemet, the foundations, and her founders. And I also highlighted that we have some Asiatic tribes that came into India and Egypt. The tribe that came into India are called Aryans, and the tribe that came into Egypt are called Hyksos. And we find out that both of these tribes was extremely disruptive, the pervading culture's structure. So the narrative that we've been given is that there was a soft entry, but the history tell us that it was a war and the war was bloody. So we have to work it out for ourselves now. Who's telling us the correct story? And then we have to also look on these things with the African looking people and wonder why these African people put at the lower class of their country. And you see the darker skinned Indian, by their racial definitions, is a black person. Any person of hue, color, is a black person because they never color purple or never color anything that never got mixed from black. So we have to watch these racist narratives that we've been given according to them, for they have this whitewashing of our history and retelling of our history, even though there is evidence to the contrary. So we have approximately 1500 BCE. Because when I said it, they didn't want to believe me, so you can see it for yourself. A nomadic and pastoral people who spoke the Indo-European language. Right, so they're Indo-Europeans, but there was no Europe. Yeah, the place where they call Europa in history. You see, they're very clever the way they just drop and mix. So you have a bit of the old and a bit of the new, and you don't know which one they're referring to. Because the new people aren't the same as the old people, we know this. So who's the old and who's the new? So we have an Indo-Asiatic tribe, Indo-European. There's no European, it's an Indo-Asiatic language tribe speaking, passing through the Hindu Kush Mountains. And the Hindu Kush Mountains was inhabited by darker skinned inhabitants. They say they called themselves Aryans, or noble people. Which noble people calls themselves, oh, we are the noble ones? That sounds like a big-headed person, doesn't it? A noble person never called himself a noble one. People call them noble. How can you call yourself noble? That's ignoble. By their standards, for a one to classify themselves as of a status higher ranking is in of itself an ignoble thing to do. Still, they establish small herding and agricultural communities throughout northern India. So where they come from, how they reach the top of India, is because they were coming from above India. So we look on the map and we see the region of India, and we see so that they come from north down to south, and before they could reach the south they had to pass through the north, and if they only get as far as the north, and they pushed the darker skinned people to the lower class of the system and to the lower part of the country. But these people are none other than those migrated from Africa. So we have Africans in India. Don't let their stupid wording fool you, because this is what we have to unravel now. Look at the evidence, think in your conscience, black eye, black hair, black skin, pigmented through melanin. Melanin formed from contact with the sun, increasing the pigmentation, but the pigmentation has to be present for it to have any effect. So when the melanin is not present, right, you have an absence of melanin. The absence of melanin is what form the name white. White coming from the tribe of Caucasians. So we have Africans migrating and then populating the areas. We have the Ice Age setting in and locking them in and separating them from the areas. And then when the Ice Age is melting, they're now able to come back down. And then as late in the day, now this ain't early in the day, 1500 BCE isn't a long time ago. When you look and you see that the pyramids and these things are over 7,000, 9,000 years old, BCE. So this is early. So just before the Common Era, you have these people entering. But prior to this, you ask a Caucasian where they come from, they tell you they have no idea. None whatsoever. Their earliest ancestor is a guy called Otzi. Otzi, their earliest ancestor, is a name of a mummy that was found in the northern regions, the northern hemisphere, as the map we will show you outlined. This is north. Now somewhere, let me break this down. Okay, we have the mountains and these things coming all around here, the Caucasus Mountains regions, where the break took home to Russia. So you have from this region here, the Caucasus Mountains, you have the arrival of a character that was found in the Ice Ages, as they call it. He was, fortunately for them, preserved in the ice, and they call him their oldest living mummy. So they found bones that are way older than him, but they've never found a whole complete prehistoric man, as they call them. And this is another misleading thing. Prehistoric. They mean before they started writing, because they make it out like they, they make it clear now that history is his thing. I want you to check this out. You see these weapons that, that this man was found carrying? They're the same weapons that was used by the Hyksos upon entering Egypt. For those of us who are not sure what I'm talking about, I'm saying again, there was Asiatic tribes that entered into Egypt. They became called the Hyksos tribe, and they are known for warring with Egypt, and many times we had to send kings from the south up to the north to regain control over Egypt and unite the upper and the lower kingdoms. We'll come back to it. So this is called Upper Egypt, and this is called Lower Egypt. And this narrative is concerning the people who travelled from the south up to the north and what they encountered. Now, listen to this narrative.
The Hyksos had an advantage: better military technology. A superior form of battle axe was designed for piercing.
Pausing.
Their bows had composites made of wood, sinew, and horn, sent out of wood, sinew, of military technology. A superior form of battle axe was designed for piercing.
Okay. So, war like tribes. Don't make them tell you anything. See their weapons, what they form to assist them surviving. See, when you're in the ice region, you're not in the Bahamas, You're not drinking Mai Tais under the beach in the sun, You're facing a battering from the weather. You're facing some of the harshest climax conditions that you could ever be facing. Look at these people have to travel up into this region, but look at the man that can come up there with, you know what I mean? You think Africans can do that? It's after thousands of years of weathering that make them lose their melanin and make them lose their pigmentation, and it also make them lose other things. They lost their memory, so they are now going through things, and they call it archaeology, the science of studying the past. But we have a rich past, though the memory tried to be taken away during the slavery era, the African Holocaust era. They tried to erase the Africans' memory of their past. Meanwhile, they are searching continually for their past. You see? For they have no memory. And they are a species with amnesia. I have this in a narrative. A white man called himself it. He says, "Well done, Graham Hancock, for uncovering certain things, because we find out that we are a species with amnesia." Now, these people call themselves species, and they want to call themselves one species, and they want to call the next one the next species. Yeah. And then they want to call one set of people one race, and they want to call another set of people another race. Yeah. And we have the continent of Africa, where we're facing things from a topsy-turvy position. According to their narrative, that we see and we know how the script really goes. The thing has been turned on its head. So we have the Aryan tribe.
Thebes A family of local rulers, styling themselves as the true kings of Egypt, eventually rebelled.
You see this bit, styling themselves as the true kings of Egypt, is lie, you know. They were the true kings of Egypt, you know. And when the man them came in, they had to go and deal with them. But hear what happened.
One of them, King Sekenenre Tar, paid the ultimate price. Dr. Mohammed Saleh, the director of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, has grisly proof.
This is the mummy of Sekenenre Tar, who died in the battlefield against the Hyksos. And as we unwrapped his body, we found so many mutilations and cuts. And you can see that he died in agony. And the face had cuts which would not have been done except only by weapons brought by the Hyksos to Egypt for the first time.
You hear this? So them man there saying that that weapon, what we show you, that they found on their man up in the ice region, Otzi. Yeah, part of his arsenal and artillery. Yeah, I'll go into these markings on his body in a minute. Yeah. Earliest form of tattoos. You've seen these things in Blade movie, like glyphs. But you see, these tools are the tools, right, that were used to smash in the head of the Nubian king, Pharaoh. Came up from the south, as they say. You say, Chuck, we deal with him. So he come up from the south, all the way up to the north, and he faced a grim and grisly fate.
Has grisly proof.
This is the mummy of Sekenenre Tar, who died in the battlefield against the Hyksos. And as we unwrapped his body, we found so many mutilations and cuts. And you can see that he died in agony. And the face had cuts which would not have been done except only by weapons brought by the Hyksos to Egypt for the first time.
One of the weapons that did the damage was the battle axe distinctive to the Hyksos. Its long, narrow blade perfectly suited to piercing bone. Humiliated by the presence of foreign rulers on Egyptian soil, Sekenenre Tar had led the first open revolt against the Hyksos. After his death, his son Kamose took up the fight. Carved on a stela, a commemorative stone found in Thebes, is an account of the bitter hatred between Kamose and the king of the Hyksos, Ipepi. As mighty Amun endures, I will not leave you alone, the Egyptian promises his enemy. I will not let you tread the field without being upon you. O wicked of heart, vile Asiatic, I shall drink the wine of your vineyard, lay waste your dwelling place, cut down your trees. The dwelling place of the Hyksos was a mighty fortress in the Nile Delta called Avaris. From there they ruled Egypt for 100 years. Then, like the tomb of Tutankhamun, Avaris vanished without a trace.
So they leave this thing again as another mystery, right? Somehow, this Caucasian set of people, because we can give you this narrative now, you know, and we can identify these characters. He says, the vile Asiatic. Remember? You hear him? You want me to repeat it? Repeat it. Repeat when he said this about. The man looked on the tablet and he said, his son come in and said,
after his death, his son Kamose
avenge
took
my
up the
dad.
fight. Carved on a stela, a commemorative stone found in Thebes, is an account of the bitter hatred between Kamose and the king of the Hyksos, Ipepi.
An account of the enmity between these factions. One tribe.
As mighty Amun endures, I will not leave you alone. The Egyptian promises his enemy. I will not let you tread the field without...
Now, the Egyptian promises his enemy. I need you to listen to this.
being upon you. O wicked of heart, vile Asiatic, I shall drink the wine of your vineyard.
All right. Vile Asiatic. So we have an Egyptian calling out an Asiatic. Now, who are these Asiatics? Are they these characters that I was talking about? Are these the Hyksos? Huh? These are like the Dravidians of India. These aren't the Hyksos. Who are the Hyksos? I said, if you want to know what they was doing, you have to go back to the Ice Ages and you have to see them in their element. Not Hollywood-fied. Is it in Hollywood? They glossify it, but trust me on this. This set of people were more barbaric, more savage, more cruel, more wicked than one could imagine. Watch now, the boy king is enjoying watching his enemy's head get cut off, while his daughter is like, yo, you need to watch how I'm gonna dominate things. He'll soon take her as his bride too, and that's his mother, making sure that the job get done. So you have this set of tribe and people, and his mother is also dealing with incest because her brother and her is having an affair. And this boy, you see them having the affair, literally, and he also has some shamanic abilities according to the narrative. So you have betrayal and treachery. You have the youth who wants to see the one dead. He end up getting a bloody death because somebody poisoned him, and then he received his fate for keeping up his fuckeries. And they're all out there in the freezing, having to kill the wildlife to keep themselves in clothing. And be it man, woman, child, they never business about nothing. You see again the man, the youth, who using his shamanic abilities. This youth with his shamanic abilities can get into the mind of this man and make this man do things. Yeah, this youth. And then you have the woman seeking power and therefore taking on all kind of things to gain that power and to get that power. See? Sacrifices, and then you even see them with dragons. Where the pictures them go? You even see them with dragons and things, and it's like, yeah, they're dealing with this on a level. Trust me, they believe in these things. For them, these things is real. So we have the Orion invasion, and they say it's a theory because they say they don't know, they're not really sure, how these people got into India, what these people were doing. But we have the effects, because these people now have been relegated to the lowest caste in their own country, and they developed a caste system, making these people outcasts and of a lower caste. So your darker skin mean you're inheriting racism. And who is these people? It's not black people being racist to black people. It's invading, warring tribes, bloodthirsty, bloodletting, blood hungry, blood feasting, power hungry, power feasting. Who fits these titles in today? Yeah, inbreeding. Yeah, because they have to keep it in the family. Yeah. Poisoning and killing their own. Yeah. If they don't like them, they have to get rid of them. You cannot tell me that this is a noble race and a noble set of people, and they can't call themselves noble after you see all the evil that they're doing. Which noble? Which part of nobility do you see? They have the finally. They have the, you know, the old court, the establishment, giving the semblance of some form of democracy. This, ironically, was also stolen concepts from earlier civilizations. The concepts they are using, they are borrowing from earlier civilizations, and therefore we know that when they encountered the kingdoms in Africa, yes, for there was kingdoms in Africa that they entered into upon entering into Africa, and they did not naturally therefore come from Africa, thereby making them, according to their definition, foreigners and even aliens, as they like describing people. So we have these foreigners and aliens introducing systems into India, which was inhabited by black people. And then we have them conspiring, killing, acting the goddamn fool. Anywhere you see him, he's acting the fool. And nothing you can do, nothing you can say to him, because they have the thing where they believe their pomp and pride and their splendor give them rights over anything. If they pronounce rights, then it's right, innit? Anything they pronounce is right. And when you look at them, they ain't right. They ain't too right, you know. They ain't too right, you know. I'm sorry to say this, but I look through this thing and I try to look through this thing as objective as possible, and I can't see it myself. I can't see this little old lady earns so much money. I can't see it, to be honest. I know hard-working people. My family is very hard-working. Get up very early, come back very late, and they haven't got anything like that. But they did have something like this, and it seemed to disappear in the passage of time. Something happened during the passage of time where it seemed to have disappeared, and then it reappeared in the hands of others. But when they came in and they saw our democracy and our standards, they borrowed them, took them to their country and tried to replicate it. They took it and tried to replicate it. The reason they tried to replicate it is because if you see something that is really cool and you don't know nothing, you don't know of anything cooler, then you want one too. You see it? I mean, if you don't have something really cool and you encounter somebody with something really cool, you're going to want some of it. Because you're going to want to be cool too. But in the process of them becoming cool, they carried out their traits, barbaric, horrific traits, cultural traits that we had to identify with, and we had to send out parties to deal with. That's how serious it was, and still is, according to their current narrative. It still is an ongoing battle to liberate the people and teach them their culture and their tradition, the foreigners and the aliens, that is. You know, they say they come in under the guise of Christianity, but before you know it, the church ministers are taking advantage of the children. Before you know it, they're taking advantage of the people. Before you know it, they're denigrating people to forced servitude. Before you know it, they even come in claiming to be God's representatives. Meanwhile, his cousin is representing what church he belongs to. And in modern times, they're representing what faith they belong to. And they're still representing what faith they belong to. And they showed you what they think of women. You know, where they should be. And you have them chasing up their old men now, don't you? Asking them, who did this? who did this? Let's catch them quick. Yeah. And in the meantime, they're still representing that they are the greats, even though the foundation of their greatness is built upon the destruction of the African civilization. The crime was being born on the most richest continent in the planet. The crime was being innocent and naive enough to believe that they meant you no ill. They were just serving their God. And you must have done something to deserve this. Because, you know, that's just how it is, isn't it? You know? You are denigrated to the lowest position on the ladder, and they are elevated to the highest position on the ladder. Yeah? Because now, anything they do is like gospel. But it's a ghost spell. It's a doppy story. Yeah? You can have them. It's a ghost spell. Gospel. It's the truth. It's a doppy story. That means it's a fictional, imaginary thing. Like if you don't wake up from your slumber, how will you ever see what is clear in the daylight? That these characters are, without a doubt and beyond measure, some of the most warped and twisted characters that you'll ever encounter. For them, the prize is mass murder. As many deaths as possible is the higher the ratings for the character. And human rights, you can't really teach a one about human rights when you come from a nation like this that would legitimize the barbaric practices of your ancestors. And this gave them superiority over many people, for they never had the military creativity of the Caucasian. Their military creativity led them to some victories, as they call them, and we know their history, that they themselves are oppressors of themselves. So it's not uncommon for us to see them oppressing other people. Now, unfortunately, our memory does not allow us to forget. Unfortunately, our memory does not allow us to forget the monstrosities carried out by Great Britain. Whose monarchy was established on the model they saw in Africa. So we have a narrative that is given to us, and we are completely erased from the narrative. You are not attributed with the creations and inventions, the sciences or the arts. You are not given recognition for being on the planet in ancient times in splendor and glory. Instead, you are given a narrative where you must imitate the imitator. You cannot imitate the imitator when you are the originator. You understand? So, the Caucasian narrative is a deep one, because the Ice Maiden, doesn't she look like the evil Snow Queen? I swear she looks like the Wicked Witch of the North. I mean you no offense, but I just don't relate to such things. I relate to a tradition and a culture that has been robbed of its dignity, and they are literally putting their feet up on us, using us as a table and chair and furniture, using our labor to fuel their endeavors. And let me remind you, we're dealing with an incestuous, treacherous, barbaric, occultic, esoteric, poisonous and traitorous, deceptive, petty-minded, ice-aged characters. And we query why they are so barbaric, why they are so cruel, even to their own, why we see treachery and betrayal amongst their own. We cannot expect to see love for us. It's just a simple 1, 2, 3. For we know that we must love ourselves in order to love others. And without no love, no pride, no laws, decency, you become ultimately illegitimate beyond measure and means. And the narrative we see explains this clearly. And we never throw no stone, we never say no bad word, we never say nothing. We just see what we see. And when we see what we see, how they define themselves and outline themselves and create themselves in a way. And this is historically. So I'm placing these things together to make you understand who you are dealing with ultimately. And I never call no name and I never say nothing. nothing to nobody. But let those who have eyes, let them see. Let those who have ears, let them hear. That we say we bunda, mama, and done that. You're joking with me. I have no time to set nothing alight, Rasta. Seeing? No time to strike a match. We just have time to not even evaluate the situation. We just have time to deal with the matter. And therefore, we propose after this meeting that we abandon the ship of the PF. No, is it PM or PF? PF. That was the last thing they called in, PF, isn't it? Alright. Well, the PF says, move along, dear boy, and forget everything. Don't to worry about the past. Don't to worry about retrieving any of the stolen property, for we will not be returning any. He spoke out clearly there and told you. He said, we will not be returning the stolen property. And his crew and bench and members said, yeah. How dare they insinuate that we acted unfairly? How dare they insinuate that what we did was cruelty, and how we are and how we live is without civility? No, that cannot be us. We are the noble ones, remember? We are noble through history. And, I mean, forget the facts. Just accept our narrative that we are noble. And we don't do things that are ignoble. Therefore, so though history does remember us unfavorably, our narrative will tell you a complete opposite story. And if we send it to Hollywood, before you know it, you'll be caught up in our fantasy, and you too will believe that we are noble ones. You must call me Sir Francis Drake. You must call me Sir John Hawkins. Yes, I was involved in carrying many Africans, and I invited them upon the good ship Jesus, no doubt. And I instructed them in all the religions and the faith and everything, as we were prone and want to do, for we are the Christian civilization, we are the Christian democracy. And even though they ended up in slavery, and even though it profited us immensely, you are not allowed to speak about it to anybody. But if you ever say anything against us, we will label you as a conspiracy theorist. We will label you and we will denigrate you, and you better mind You know, because you know how it goes round there. Yeah? You better mind, because you know how it goes round there. Yeah? When we set our sights on the prize, believe you me, there's not much can take them off course. Even a century cannot take them off course. So we have this narrative that has been expounded upon as to the Caucasians' foundations and beginnings. So let me go into the last thing now and let us drop down another one of these quick flicks. And this one now is showing you what they say. Can't remember, you know, I'm just following their history. And this is what they say about themselves and their story traveling out of Africa.
Stand live.
Welcome one and welcome all. Are you ready for the journey? We're going to wake up the memory. The ancient memory. Watch out. Forward.
Gatherers,
Forward.
have you ever had to face such peril as this? Have you ever had to leave Mother Africa and travel to the distant north, the Icelandic region? It's a dread land.
Around 130,000 years ago, our species, Homo sapiens, left their African birthplace and traveled north. They found themselves in a changeable world. The seesawing climate of an ice age buffeted and tested this new species. These hunter-gatherers took on the challenge of finding food, keeping themselves warm, and providing for their children. They had to adapt in order to survive.
Mutate, man.
But nothing could...
They had to mutate in order to survive, man. Get it straight. They had to mutate to survive. Because no African would stay alive in 0 minus 35 degrees. You see it? So they had to mutate. They never came out of Africa looking like this. They might take the out of us, you know. They expect us to believe, say, that you walk out of Africa looking like this. Yeah. Well, this is why I'm furnishing you with the story, because you have to really understand the roots of their mentality. You have to really understand the roots of their journey. We understand the roots, our roots, but there is branches of the family. There is an Asiatic tribe. See them here?
the Caucasian. You never knew say Caucasus plus Asian still mean Asian. You never realize there is a Asian lineage. Tell me say you realize this. That Caucasian. Yes, so we have the narrative where we just go into how it is this so-called new species that came about, how they came about. We showed you Otzi, the oldest ancestor, 5,000 years old, and him showing like this. And they say that he came out of Africa. But we know that Africa is, we just know that Africa is just not like that, is it? Yeah. So, what are they dealing with, really and truly, when they omit us from all the scripts? I'm going to run the last one down and wind up this in an hour so you don't blow your head too much. But we need to see this. We want to know why they omit us from the narrative. Why do they omit us from the narrative, people? I wonder if somebody can answer this. I mean, you say racism, but we're going to go in on the next chapter and show you that it's no such thing as a white man invention, because we told you they invent all the words, they invent all the things, and then they put their spell on you and tell you to use him. Alakajam! And now you're using him. But we want to know, where did we get this thing from? And they're even using scripts against us to the negative. They omit us from the Bible. We have a Bible narrative where we show you say, they omit us from the Bible even though it's written clearly in the Bible who the people are. And it's written in many of these things clearly who the people are. But when it goes through the hands of the Caucasian, all of a sudden the identity gets omitted. So we're very curious about this, we wonder about this, we have to wonder about this because this is very strange. If it was one thing you could say, oh, so, but it seems to be everything. You really have to wonder. So here we have the Bible narrative. It tells us that the second river is Gihon, the same it is that encompasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. And we see the first is Fizon, which encompasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. Did we see any gold anywhere? I don't remember seeing any gold in Africa. Do you remember seeing any gold in Africa? No, there wasn't no gold in Africa. It must be somewhere else. So, we have this narrative that they give us, and we're going to leave you thinking about this. If it came out of Africa and then inhabited the northern region where they freeze out their kinky and lost all of their memory and their melanin, and we even see it's like they lost their capacity to love one another and to love humanity. And this same thing has been brought back to us. So I will leave you and will tell you this. As I live and shall be what I am, when the bowmen were the sealed wall, we breached their strongholds and we made Lower Egypt attack them. We captured their inhabitants and seized their cattle until the Asiatics abhorred Egypt. So do not concern yourself with him, for the Asiatic is a crocodile on its shore. It snatches from a lonely road we cannot seize from a populous tongue. Lo, the miserable Asiatic is wretched because of the place he is in. He is short of water, he is bare of wood, short of water, bare of wood, and his paths are painful and many because of August mountains. So, people, don't have nightmares now. See?
Like a splinter in your eye, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Like a splinter in your eye, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Like a splinter in your eye, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
My people.
What it is.
Yes, so I thought I'd sweeten up the pot a little, you know. Well, the hour is midnight.
Merciful unto all man, O Jah, shine your face, shine your light and shine your grace. As I man introduce the wicked after the time of derision and disgrace. Yeah, equity and balance, goodness and mercy. The fruits of renewal and the grapes of wrath, and all these things must come to pass. In the name of His Imperial Majesty, I, bless you, Jah. Yes, that's all. This old standard to the fluctuation brought the loser to the winner's circle. They say attack them and destroy them in their straight place. I make the saints resemble trouble. Now the people are afraid of the ones who really love them. They go to the assassins to confess their sins. Jaja teach I how to forgive their trespass. To clean I without and clean I within. An elemental love was first and unrehearsed. I one persistent truth will keep on coming home from exile. I Jah promise to give the rain to the brain and my new percentile. I will take root downward and bear fruit upward again. I Christ called the one Peter Maga Satan. He wanted to walk on the water the same. They speak of the false prophet Bar Jesus. I'm telling you, Asmodeus in the Father's place. The Simon Peter and Paul place of demon. The Vatican stole and lo and behold, look how they became. The great beast that was told in Revelation. Nothing can destroy Rastafari aim. This old standard to the fluctuation brought the loser to the winner's circle. They say attack them and destroy them in their straight places. Make their saints resemble trouble. Now the people are afraid of the ones who really love them. They go to the assassin to confess their sins. Jaja teach I how to forgive their trespass. To clean I without and I within. To clean I without and I within. Broken seals and new revelation. New Testament was Vatican tool of infiltration. A Hyksos people told a falsified version. They are the sin of God and now they proudly saying synagogue. At the lowest point on earth and the Dead Sea, this was the last stand. Now they are professors prophesy or can they provision? Can their professors prophesy and can they provision? Can they cultivate our way, our shame? Rastafari say blasphemy and they must say blasphemy and they must say blasphemy and scandal. But I know he is the firstborn of creation. They sold the standard to the fluctuation, brought the loser to the winner's circle. They say attack them and destroy them in their straight places. Make the saints resemble trouble. Now the people are afraid of the ones who really love them. They go to the assassins to confess their sin. Judge teach I how to forgive their trespass, to be I without and I within. They only approach life from five senses and material, monetary value and scientific, horrific, and non-feeling is the most prized credential. As they claim to know the tetrahedron, they want to walk on the water the same. An elemental love was first and unrehearsed. I want the sister truth will keep on coming home from exile. I just promised to give the rain to the grain of minute percentile. I take fruit downward and be fruit upward again. I to take fruit and be fruit upward